All right, guys, welcome back. Hangout number 4. So this is the final hangout for the current round of Coach Basics, and it doesn't mean that this is the end of the training, so to speak. There will still be about another week's worth of daily education posts that appear on the page, and then once we get to day 30, that's the end of Coach Basics, and you're off and running. And I know some people like to go through it multiple times. They seem to get a little bit more out of it each time. And every time we do the education, it seems to evolve a bit more. I try to pull in feedback from people saying they wish they had heard more about certain subjects, or I try to pull ideas and concepts from other coach leaders that I'm exchanging information with. But regardless, just so you guys are aware of the timeline, so we'll finish up next week, this round of Coach Basics, and then a week from then on the 27th, is that right? Yeah, August 27th, which is a Wednesday, we'll do the Coach Opportunity webinar. So if you're saying to yourself, gee, there's other people that I know, now that I've gone through Coach Basics, I have a better understanding of the business. I know some people that might be interested in this opportunity. Invite them to the webinar, and I'll put up the invitation link in the event page for that tomorrow. So that'll all be set up tomorrow. We'll have 2 weeks worth of inviting, if you will. And then following that, we're going to wait for 2 weeks to get through the Labor Day week period. And starting on Wednesday, September 10th, will be an all new round of Coach Basics. And I think that's the time of year when, okay, the summer's over, kids are back in school, and people start to focus again on the things that they should be doing on a daily basis when it comes to their health and fitness and things of that nature. So it's a good time to be ramping up your coach business, starting challenge groups, fit clubs, all that good stuff, rolling into that time of the year. Recapping the goal for Coach Basics, Success Club 5, and I know some people are there or on the brink of already hitting it, which is fantastic. Success Club 5 or more by the end of August, and if you can, hitting the rank of Emerald by the end of August, simply meaning that you have signed up 2 other coaches as part of your team, and that does 2 things for you. One, it opens up the opportunity for you to earn team cycle bonuses, which is income above and beyond the commissions you earn from your own customers. You start benefiting from what we call team volume. And there's been a few questions that have come in on the compensation structure, like, okay, well, what does team cycle bonusing mean? How do I actually earn? What does it mean to have a right leg and a left leg? Rather than taking a lot of time in this education, if you go to How to Earn in the Coach Training Academy, the video tutorials in that part of the Coach Training Academy do a pretty good job breaking down how the compensation structure works, especially the video from Michael Neiman on how to earn team cycle bonuses. He actually uses these action figures to illustrate the example of a right leg and a left leg and the concept of banking volume on your right and left legs. But it gets very exciting as your team starts to build. And another point that I want to make, some of you have been surprised by the fact that, wow, all of a sudden there's a coach under you that you didn't put there. You didn't sign anybody up, and there's a coach that has appeared under you in your downline. That sometimes happens depending on where you are in the organization. You can have an active upline, and as that active upline is sponsoring new coaches, the only place that they can put them is the bottom of what's called a shared leg that you might be on with that upline. So it's very possible that occasionally you have a coach appear under you, and guess what? It's not your responsibility to train or work with that coach. Certainly you can reach out to them and try to establish contact if you want, but it's certainly not necessary because they're working with their upline that signed them up. But you benefit from everything that they do. So imagine you have a coach placed under you, and this is the dream example, but all of a sudden that person goes on in the future to become a 15-star diamond. You benefit from all of that volume, even though you had nothing to do with putting them there. So the structure of how Team Beachbody is set up is very, very powerful when it comes to the team concept. So team cycle bonusing begins when you hit Emerald. The other thing that happens is you become eligible for the customer lead program. And the customer lead program is such that as people are buying the the Beachbody products from infomercials or other advertising that they're seeing for the programs, they can go onto the Beachbody website, or they can call the Beachbody toll-free number, and they can order any one of the exercise programs or Shakeology or anything in the product line. And during the checkout process, when those customers are doing that, Beachbody's asking them, would you like a free coach? And so a lot of the customers during the purchasing process, they say, yeah, I'll take a free coach. And so Beachbody takes all these thousands of orders that come in every week. And right now it ranges anywhere from 30 to sometimes as high as 50,000 new customer orders per week. And they take all those new customers and they assign them evenly across all the coaches in the network that are ranked Emerald or higher. So once you've achieved that rank of Emerald, you can periodically start seeing in your back office, you have 2 new customers. And every week or every day, you're checking your back office to see if you have any new customers. Well, when you're assigned a customer lead, your job is not to get on the phone or email them and start introducing other products to them. What these people are looking for is support. And Beachbody has done a really good job at putting together a training tutorial on the customer lead program and how to work with your customer leads. And that is also part of the Coach Training Academy. There's a tutorial on the lead programs. And during that tutorial, there's a thing called lead lessons. And it breaks down the step-by-step approach to take in following up with your customer leads to form successful relationships. Because what these people are looking for is support. And one of the best ways that you can offer support, once you've learned about the person and their deepest why and all the stuff that we talked about in the invitation process, the same concepts apply for these free customer leads that you're getting. And as you learn about them and identify their deepest why and you plug them into support, the best way to do that is through, hey, challenge groups and fit clubs. Well, fit clubs would be if they lived in your area. Most of the time they don't. They're based all over the country. But challenge groups, what's to say you can't, every time you have a challenge group, all of those customer leads that you're assigned should be part of the invitation net that you're throwing out there. So when it comes to those 2 invitations a day you should be doing every single day, well, your customer leads count for that. Inviting your customer leads to your challenge groups is part of the invitation process. So really, really important to get to Emerald if you really want to build your business substantially. And there's nobody that's done this better that I'm aware of in the network than a really successful coach named Nicole Jones. Nicole Jones is, I think she's sitting at 9-star diamond now, and she's earning upwards of $10,000 a week. Now, she became a coach about 3.5 years ago, shortly after declaring bankruptcy with her husband. I mean, they were flat broke, and she had gotten out of shape. She went through P90X, had some great changes, and just followed the system. Nicole didn't have a huge network of people to reach out to with the Beachbody coaching opportunity. What she did was she worked the customer leads as good as anyone out there. And so she has put together a document called Nicole Jones Customer Lead Email Samples. Okay, and that's a document that I will share on the Coach Basics page for you to use in the future if you're not already sitting in Emerald. But if you follow how Nicole Jones systematically follows up with the customers, and how often do you send out a communication? What do you say in the opening communication? How do you come across in a way that you don't look like you're stalking them or trying to sell them something? She's a master at it, and she's documented it. The other coach that's done this incredibly well is Jessica Vanderberg. Jessica Vanderberg has a document that she calls her winning formula on how to work with the customer leads. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking the Nicole Jones document, the Jessica Vanderberg document, I'm combining them into one, and I'm going to share that as a document on the Coach Basics page for your reference when you're ready to start working with customer leads. Okay? All right, so we covered the goals, customer lead program, why getting the Emerald is so important. Hey, and if you can't do it by the end of August, that's okay. You know, that was kind of a stretch goal for the training, because that's within, call it 5 weeks when we started our training. So If you can't do it by then, that's okay. If you do it by then, I became aware today of a new program that is being put together by another successful star diamond within Team Bearcat. Her name is Shannon Galladay, and it's called Dash to Diamond. So if you look at the post, what I put on our team page today, it explains what the Diamond Dash is all about. There's a $25 entry fee. It's basically to fast track you through education to the rank of diamond by November 27th. So the details for that program have been put on the page, and to be eligible, all you got to do is be emerald by September 1st. If you don't make it, that's okay, because I can promise you this type of program is going to repeat over and over for people to get to that diamond rank. Okay. Bob is here, so I'm going to just keep hammering through my final points here, and then I'll turn it over to him. Point that I put on the page this morning about how to build a never-ending contact list. And, having contacts to continually work with is something that seems like it's easy to do at the beginning of your coach journey, because you're thinking about all the people you currently know. You're thinking about your friends, your family. There's actually a memory jogger on the 7-day quick start that'll trigger your memory of people that you might know that you're not even thinking of. But very often what happens is that you exhaust your immediate circle of influence and the immediate contacts that you have within the first several weeks of being a coach. So then several coaches, or many coaches, are kind of left saying, okay, well, now what do? I don't know any more people. This is the concept of continually meeting and inviting new people, and this concept of what we call forming, F-O-R-M. It's an acronym. And it's an acronym to kind of keep in the back of your mind as you meet new people in your day-to-day life. It can be in the grocery store. It could be people at work. It could be people that you run into on the street, or you overhear conversations. I mean, this is what I tend to do quite often. I hear people quite often speaking about challenges when it comes to their weight loss, or their lack of energy, or their struggles to exercise regularly, or their horrible diets and their lack of proper nutrition. I mean, you just hear conversations, and once you're comfortable doing it, the first few times you might feel awkward, but to get comfortable with saying, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I couldn't help but overhear what you were saying about the weight challenges you're facing or the challenges you're having with your nutrition. I am actually a coach in fitness that helps people overcome those challenges. And I'd love to learn more about what it is you're trying to achieve. So you're just coming at it with some wording or with a gesture that is pure friendliness and not trying to sell them something. You're just trying to offer help, and you're being, call it, brave enough and confident enough to say, I'm a fitness coach. You don't have to say you're a beach body coach if you don't want. People are going to kind of go, beach body, what is that? And especially if you're talking to somebody that's completely out of shape. But if you come at it from the approach of I'm a health and wellness coach, or I'm a fitness coach, or I offer people support when it comes to health and fitness, I would love to learn more about the challenges you're facing. And just go into the dialogue that is following the acronym FORM. So when we talk about FORM, there's things that people typically will talk about in day-to-day conversation, or enjoy talking about in day-to-day conversation. One of them is family. So that's the F in that acronym, F-O-R-M, F for family. Tell me about your family. How's your family? Or how about, for occupation, what do you do for a living? So you're just throwing out questions having to do with that person that most people are comfortable talking about. Then you get into R, which stands for recreation. What do you do for fun? When you're not working, what are the things you do with your family? What do you do for exercise? What do you do for exercise? Or what do you do for recreation? What do you do for fun? It's just this, what are your hobbies? Just open-ended questions to engage in dialogue. And then finally, once there's been enough rapport building back and forth, you've just had some good friendly dialogue, it's the message of what you do. I am a health and fitness coach. I offer people support and help when it comes to their exercise and nutrition and trying to achieve their health and fitness goals. I love what I do for a living. How are you currently doing with your exercise? What do you currently do for exercise? Do you belong to a gym? How's that going for you? And when people say, yeah, I go to the gym, I say, well, how's that working out for you? A lot of people have gym memberships, but it's not working out too well for them. So I'm just kind of throwing out examples and things that you can use in day-to-day dialogue to continually build your contact list. And the best case I can give as an example recently for me was at a Verizon store where I had my P90X3 hat on, and I was in the store getting service from my phone, and the girl behind the counter said, oh, P90X. She says, P90X3, I'm not sure what that is. She said, but my brother did P90X, and he said it was really hard. I said, oh, no kidding. Did he finish the program? And he said, well, he tried to. He had some results. I said, what about you? Did you try it? And she said, no, I couldn't do that. I said, well, why not? And then she went on to say, well, it's too challenging. And I said, well, what do you do for exercise now? And all of a sudden she started to open up with, well, I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm going to the gym. It's not working. I said, well, do you know what this program is? This is a half-hour version of P90X. So as a matter of fact, my job is to help and support people that want to do this program. I'd love to give you more information. She gave me her card like that. So it's just wearing and sharing, talking to people about what you do with confidence, and asking for their contact information. And agreeing, getting them to agree, would you mind if I follow it up with you in the near future? I would love to share more information. And then you go into the 5-step invitation process with all these new prospects. So what do? You come home, you've got that business card from somebody, or you've got somebody's name and number written on a piece of paper. You add it to the contact list that you have. So stay organized, keep your contacts going. Guys, there's a lot of people that need help. You should never have a shortage of people that are on your contact list. They're everywhere. Okay? All right. Let's see. All right. I have some other things that I'll close with, but what I want to do now is introduce to you a gentleman, an extraordinary guy that I met, that's 2.5 years ago now. Time flies, Bob. I'm going to unmute him here. And I met Bob Lucido through Jill Cement, who is my sponsoring coach. Jill Cement is a Les Mills instructor that I know from Connecticut, and she was the one that reached out to me and finally got my ear about becoming a coach. And she had me speak to Bob. And after being on the phone for a half hour with Bob, I was like, all right, sign me up. And I signed up, and Bob and I, we clicked right away because we kind of saw the bigger picture of what was unfolding with Les Mills and in the health club world and Beachbody coaching. And so he kind of was learning from me a lot about the health club world and Les Mills. And I was learning from him this whole world of Beachbody coaching. And we were seeing that, the bridge that could be formed between these two worlds. And that's what's led to, I credit Bob with a lot of my success, because I was seeing how Beachbody coaching was working. And I was reaching into the gym world to say, look, I know a lot of fitness professionals that would love something more to add to their repertoire and to add to their living when it comes to helping people. And fortunately, it's gone very, very well. But Bob has gone on in his journey of almost 4 years now. He's the founder of Team Bearcat. He's a combined 10-star diamond, elite coach, millionaire coach. And it's because he has followed this proven system to a T. And so what I asked Bob to do tonight for all of us was to come on to the call and share with us his biggest takeaways if you want to build a 6-figure income as a Beachbody coach in 2 to 3 years. And then with a stretch goal, thinking big here, a stretch goal, as he's proven can be done, a 7-figure income in 4 to maybe 7 years. All right. But nobody that I know of has done it as good as Bob when it comes to being organized and systematic in his approach to building a team. So, hey, Bud, over to you. I'll let you take it from here.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. Having a little bit of a stormy night over here. So before I roll on, just let me do a test. How's it coming across?
You actually sound great, but you froze on the
Oh,
screen.
okay.
You're
Yeah,
frozen.
that's happening. It's happening on my end too. So,
Okay, but we can hear you loud and clear.
all right, good. So you can deal with some frozen pictures every now and then. I see it'll look like I'm doing the old Madonna song, right?
Yeah, there you
For
go.
those of us old enough to remember, striking a pose here.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here, and Don, I always love working with you and your team, and those of you who are over here, you should count yourself as very lucky. You've got a great leader here and a great teacher in Don. Just let me take a couple of quick seconds to embellish on that story that Don just shared about how we met, because he doesn't know the other side of the story, and that is that Jill came into our team through Greg Plaskett, who maybe many of you know, or if you don't know him yet, you're going to know him if you stick around. One of the most active leaders in the Connecticut, Southern New England area for sure, and definitely one of the top leaders on our team. Anyways, the first time that I sat down with Jill, we were talking about exactly the same thing that Don was just sharing with you, and that is building a live, active contact list. And it's so appropriate that I came in on that, because that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about tonight. That's how you build a great business. So anyways, Jill and I were talking about that, and we were talking about making her plan. Who's the first set of people that you can reach out to? And I tell people, especially in your first month in the business, who's the first 100 people that you're going to actually call? Forget about the people who you're going to bump on the street and all of that, because we're going to teach you how to do that. Because just as Don said, once you get through that first list, which happens for most people in the first month or two, depending on how fast you go, you have to learn how to step out of that. So anyways, back step a second here. Sitting there with Jill, and we're trying to put together her list. And she says to me, well, I know this guy, and in the Les Mills world, he's the Tony Horton. He's the Tony Horton of Les Mills, especially here in the Northeast. And I said, well, who is he? Get him on the phone. That's the guy we want to talk to. And turned out that guy is Don Murphy. And we had an amazing chat, as Don said. And we've been able to really gel because of a common dream and vision of what we really want to be doing in our lives individually, but what we want to see happening out there in the world of fitness. And that is really changing people's lives, being effective, having effect, not just getting products to people, not just opening opportunity for people, because that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And we know that. And with all the people we try to help in the fitness world, whether it's through a gym or whether it's through a fitness program or a live program or a whatever kind of program, kind of that, that's as far as we've been able to figure out how to get up to now. It's just leading that horse to the water, and then those who drink, and those who don't, and you don't get the benefits. But with the advent of coaching, what came in was this whole new thing, and now we have a tool to leverage that horse a little bit, to encourage that horse, and that is us in that support role. So what I want to share with you all tonight, if I have any kind of hot tips, I'm going to tell you some really simple things that were shared to me right in the beginning. And I'll tell you, I had the blessing of really working with some great people in the beginning. And what I accomplished in this first 4 years is not by mistake. It's completely by plan. And in the very beginning, the folks who I worked with, they said, you can earn a 7-figure a year income, and you can get there in 3 to 5 years if you do a few things. And here's the few things that you have to do. you have to learn how to get into an active, live recruiting process that just becomes part of you on a daily basis. It can't be something that's a stop and go. It has to be something that just becomes part of you. So what does that mean? How do you break that down? What does that look like? The commitment that I made when I stepped away from my very first training, very similar to the one that you guys are in now, back in January of 2010, was to do two simple things. Talk to 2 brand new people every single day and do a quality invitation. And a quality invitation means that I get their follow-up information. I create an expectation that I am going to follow up. So it's just I'm not ambushing them later on. They're going to expect that I'm going to be following up. And I'm going to get a third-party tool into their hands in between that first meeting and my first follow-up. And that can be a Shakeology sample. It can be a trifold brochure. It can be a link to one of our amazing videos. I mean, we have an incredible resource system behind us in that online office with sharing tools. That's what I mean by a third-party tool. Anything that's not you, anything that is one of the professionally produced tools that we have in our marketing toolkit that comes with our business, that has to be part of that first share. 2 of those a day, that's it, not hundreds, 2. And at least 2 follow-ups with people who you've already had those kinds of experiences with. That's the simple commitment that I made in January of 2010. And I will tell you that, we could talk about all kinds of other fluff. That's the commitment that I made, that I've done, that has built the 7-figure business that I'm lucky enough now to have. All the other stuff is icing on the cake. And I equate it to coming into a new fitness program, right? There's a couple of things you have to commit to. You're going to commit to exercising. You can't, it's not going to be once a week or once a month or when it feels good, or it's going to be every day, 5 days a week at least, right? 5 or 6 days a week. This is the same thing, 5 to 6 days a week, not all of them on the weekend. 5 or 6 days a week. And there's something about that daily process, because it's going to change you. It's going to change the way you engage with people. It's going to change, it's going to give you the skills that you can't get any other way. You're never going to get good at doing push-ups and pull-ups if you never do them. But if you do them all the time, then suddenly they become second nature and you can just do them. This is the same way. And so you need to bring that level of consistency in. And once you do, you'll find that it becomes very easy. And the kind of thing that Don was talking about just before I came in, I know that new coaches hear that stuff and it sounds all well and good, but when you're out there in the world, you just don't do it, right? You get stuck. It's just not just, wow, it was so easy when Don did it on the Zoom call the other night. How come I can't get those words out of my mouth? That's what you need to push yourself to do. And it's the same way that, you get down on the floor and you try to do the first push-ups. When I bumped into P90X 5 years ago, unfortunately, it was after a time in my life where I let go of fitness for quite a while and got myself into a situation where I was 70 pounds overweight. And the truth is, I got down on the ground thinking I was going to be able to do push-ups because I always used to be able to. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but the truth is, at 40 years old, I could only do 5. And I got up shocked, going, what the heck just happened to me? And, I used to be able to do sets of 50. Why can't I do that anymore? It's because I got myself out of practice that because of physical limitation and whatever you want to call it, that just all fell apart. That's where it came to. But through changing behavior and doing, bringing that back in, I was able, of course, to get back to the place of being able to do 10 times that amount, on a regular basis. And this is the same thing that's going to happen for you And I equate it to the fitness because it's almost like it's a muscle inside of you that has to get worked. If it doesn't get worked, it doesn't become natural. It doesn't flow. And people sense that. And when you're out there and in the beginning, you're going to fall. I'm teaching my daughters to ride their bikes right now, and, they're going to fall, right? Just part of it. You're going to have to get used to that. But make that commitment. If I can impress upon you anything tonight or anything as a new coach, make that commitment. Just like if you were starting a new fitness regimen, you're going to make the commitment to, you're going to exercise, some form of exercise, and you're going to follow a nutrition plan. The hows and how-tos and wherefores of all that can come together. Because let's be honest, there's a million nutrition plans out there that work if you commit yourself to them. There's a million fitness programs that work if you commit yourself to them. This is the same thing. It's either commit to the program or not. The specifics of the program are not the important piece. The important piece is simply the commitment to be consistent with it. Because we're going to show you the hows and wheres and whys, and we're going to put the little pieces in. The only thing you need to do to have great success, and this is still true for me today, is to talk to 2 brand new people every single day, 5 to 6 days a week, and follow up with at least 2 people who you've already spoken to. Because what that creates for you in your life is an active dialogue cycle. And that's what drives this business. Success in this business is driven by an active dialogue cycle. I want to have new people coming in, and I want to be continually talking with, working with, helping the people who are already in. And here's a couple of layers to throw on top of that. You need to know that all these new people, you're going to have 5 to 7 conversations with them minimum before they give you a yes or a no. All too many people get really good at talking to 2 people a day, and then that's it. They talk to that person the first time, they didn't buy Shakeology that day, they're gone. They're moving on to the next person. Don't do it that way. You're building a relationship. You're moving through it. Don shared the form principle. That's such a crucial principle to get used to because it has to come second nature. And in the beginning, yes, you just follow an acronym, right, to try to train your mind. But basically, is all that's saying to you is when you meet someone, none of us want to be the icky salesman, right? I hear that so much from everybody. And so what I say is, good, don't. What I tell people is, don't even mention Shakeology, P90X, T25, coaching, until you've made a friend. Till somehow, and I can make a friend in 30 seconds. Just like Don said, hey, I see you got your boy out there. I saw him in his Little League outfit. Little League was one of my funnest times of my life. Really remember that. I hope you guys are really enjoying that. Boom, now I'm in a conversation with this person. Again, family, and within a few seconds, we do have a quasi-friendship relationship. It wasn't, I didn't jump in and go, oh, wow, your kid plays baseball? I'm a beach body coach. We should start training them. That, oh my God, the person wants to run away from you. But those are 2 different ways of approaching the same situation. And when you really wrap your head around the form thing, and please don't become robotic with it. Some people, family opens the door and boom, I'm in the conversation. Remember what I said before, the engine inside this business is simply active, engaged conversation. You want it going on all the time in your life with as many people at as many different stages as possible. I want active, brand new conversation with brand new people. I want active, engaged conversation with people who I've already gotten exposures to, and I'm trying to figure out where they might fit in here. I want active, engaged conversations with those who have already purchased from me and are going in and are active in my challenge groups. I want active, engaged conversation with those who have become coaches. That's your little circle. That's what we do. If you want to be a full-time beach body coach, that's what you do. That's what I do all day long. Active, engaged conversation with people who are at little different levels, little different playing fields, and that circle that I just described. Once you get that going, you're going to have all the pieces together. It's kind of like the farmer with all the crops at the different levels throughout the year. That's what you want to be happening. And so that's why that 2 brand new people every single day is so crucial, because that's, that's the gasoline coming into the engine. That's what's going to keep that active dialogue going all along, because you've got that coming in, and then you're going to continue to move that through. Well, how do you move it through? You get really good at understanding the principles behind form. And it sounds so simple and silly, but the truth is, there's not much more to it. You learn how to connect with people where they are at. And for some people, they're most comfortable talking about their occupation. Great. They don't want to talk about their family. Okay. So don't stick on family because, I'm a robot. This person's, obviously uncomfortable talking about family, but I got to do form before I can get to recreation. The guy's in swimming shorts and he obviously just came off the boat from the lake, but I need to talk about family and occupation before I can ask him if he had a good time on the lake, right? No, don't do that. Get used to what the principle behind this is. And the principle behind this is doing 2 things for your prospect. Making your prospect feel comfortable, because that you want them and need them to feel comfortable, and to open up a trust relationship. And a trust relationship doesn't happen until there's comfort. Once you create that, and then there is a trust relationship, then you can make the decision whether you take the next step and whether this is your person that you're going to get your 1 or 2 exposures out of. And it might not be. And here's a key point too that I want to say to you: qualify your prospects. In the beginning, everybody wants everybody to be their customer and the coach on their team. And the truth is, I approach it now just as I used to do when I was practicing law and I had a law practice. If I was going to hire somebody to come in to be a secretary or a paralegal or a lawyer or whatever it might be, there's an interview process. I want to know who this person is. Is this somebody I want to work with? Is this somebody I can work with? Even when I was taking on clients, is this somebody who I think I can work with? Can I really help this person? Maybe I can't. Maybe this is just somebody that, isn't gonna. So understand that too, and be patient, because you'll find that getting your 2 people a day doesn't mean you'll only talk to 2 people a day. Might mean you talk to 10 or 20 people a day to get the 2 who qualify to actually get your attention, to give a good exposure, to come into your wheelhouse and become part of what is your business, that active, continual dialogue. It sounds real simple, but as I look back over the last 4 years, that is the one thing that I've seen make the difference for me and all the coaches that we've seen have success. The fun part is, in 4 years, it's not just myself on the team who's had great success. We have Keith Callahan, who also made it into the Millionaires Club this summer. We've got coaches like Don who are hit that 5-star diamond level and above. I think we've got probably 20 or more coaches on that 5-star wall now from our team. Handfuls of elite coaches. I saw 50 plus coaches from our team who are qualified for the leadership retreat next month, which you have to be at least a paid 2-star diamond and have earned at least 20 elite points this year. So what I've seen make the difference between the people who make it to that level and the other group, and I have 15,000 coaches in my downline now in just 4 years, so I've gotten a chance to see the whole spectrum of those who really don't ever get out of step 1 all the way up to those who make it into the Millionaires Club. The difference is consistent commitment to the 2+2. The 2 new people every single day, and at least 2 follow-ups every single day. Everything else, I'm not saying don't do anything else, because everything else, yes, that's sort of, that's the, I don't know what you call, that's the beef. That's what makes up the rest of what you do. But those are your 2 things that drive your business forward and drive you to success. Consistently committed to those 2 things. So, just like if you sat down with somebody for the very first time and you were doing a very honest fitness plan evaluation, the very minimal thing you're going to tell that person is, look, you're going to do sizing and you're going to eat right. Because if you skip either one of those two, I don't care what else you do, I can't really help you get great results, because great results are dependent on some exercise and some nutrition, and that's going to be what you're going to do. So as Beachbody coaches, just know, to have great success, you're going to be engaging in active, continual conversations, whether they're live in person or online through social media. Please don't forget to form on social media. I don't want to miss that. So I see people get real good at doing it in person, and they get online and they don't know how to talk to people. Same thing. Make sure that as you're meeting people on Facebook, as you're friending new people, as you're bumping into people in chat rooms or on like pages or whatever it might be, don't jump in and, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, would you like a Shakeology sample? It's, hey, I saw that picture of you and your daughter at the dance recital, that's awesome. But however you can connect using those principles in the same kind of way, whether it's social media or live. But if you get that, you're going to have great success. Keep following the program, keep following the lead of those who have gone before you. It's the other fun thing about this business is that it is systems dependent. And we've already got the great systems in place. It's now your job to build success is simply to implement the existing systems. So, Don, I hope that helps.
Oh, it always does. Every time you speak, it's like, okay, that's it. You've nailed it on the head. And the thing that's so different now versus when I got in, and definitely when you got in, I mean, the push for starting challenge groups and using Coach Basics training to learn how to start a challenge group and start hitting Success Club, like that, our hands weren't held back then. And so the challenge groups, that whole concept is what really excited me about the business. When I signed up and I started learning about this mechanism of supporting people in their health and fitness above and beyond just health clubs, it excited me. I got so excited about it that I just started calling a lot of the people that I knew, saying, man, I've gotten involved in this company and it's this Beachbody coaching opportunity. Don't know if you've heard about it or not, but I'd love to share more information with you. And it was just explaining to them this new, call it paradigm, that helps people get healthy and fit. And so when you think about your own business and where you're at right now, it's people get jazzed off of your excitement. If you are not excited about your business and seeing the potential opportunity in this to help people get healthy and fit, it's probably not good. That's probably not going to resonate too well with the people that you're talking to, these 2 people a day that you're talking to. Adding 2 more coach prospects into your wheel every day is how you'll get to that diamond rank pretty quickly. And
absolutely.
And the people that you can think of talking to are, it's the people that you know in your life, and it's the people you think about, who do I know that has a job, but they're not really that happy in their job, or they have the time that maybe they'd like to be doing something more. Maybe they could spend an hour a day doing something that involves health and fitness, not only for themselves, but people, that they might want to invite to their support groups. So those are the people you're thinking about in your life. But then the ones who are not jumping at the opportunity to become coaches will certainly might jump at the opportunity to be in one of your challenge groups, to just be a customer, to get the changes and experience what a challenge group is like, and do an exercise program and drink Shakeology every day and know from the heart, wow, this is good stuff. Those people call it the grassroots level are the ones that can really become some of your best coaches, because they're already products of the product. So your customers, there's 2 types of people you're inviting every day. One is potential coaches. 2 is potential customers for your challenge groups and fit clubs. And so you've got these 2 pools of people happening all the time. I'm inviting people that I know might be interested in the coach opportunity. I'm inviting people that I know are trying to get healthy and fit into my challenge groups. The people that are coming in, starting out as customers, very often can become some of your best coaches because they go through the challenge group experience and then they get great results. And then people are saying, wow, you look great. What are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm in this support group and I've got this coach. And they start coming to you saying, I have people that are interested in doing your next challenge group. It's very easy for you to say to them, you should become a coach. You can do what I'm doing. And it's just kind of like a natural progression from being a customer to becoming a coach when people get their own results from the programs. So the invitation of 2 a day is everything to seeing your business grow, customers and or coaches. Before Bob leaves, questions, anything you want to ask of him, comments. You're ready to leave and go, I've got this dialed in and I'm going to be making $1 million as a coach 6 years from now. Yeah. The exciting part of all of it, and I say this to people, is that this is relatively new still. Beachbody coaching is relatively new in comparison or relative to where it's going to be in the distant future. And Bob is actually a member of the coach advisory board, and he can't share a lot of the stuff that goes on internally, but I know he can say that there are big plans for the future for this company. And so, timing has a lot to do with these types of opportunities. I've been involved with 3 other network marketing or direct sales, multi-level marketing type companies in my life in the past 25 years. My first one was Amway. I was just out of high school and a college buddy invited me to an Amway meeting. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? It was a little too cultish for me. But the thing that struck me about the different companies that I was with, it was always about product sales. It was having to get an inventory of some products and you had to meet quotas and you were just selling products and the products were good, but it was like you were just trying to get people to buy products. And with coaching, it's such a different animal. You are a support person for people to get healthy and fit. You lead, you inspire, you provide daily motivation. And I just think that is so needed in the world because health clubs, I go back to this all the time, health clubs are not doing the job that needs to be done. It's not enough. 17% of the population goes to a gym. That's it. So, boy, Beachbody coaching is just a world of opportunity as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I invite so many people I know to the opportunity because I just believe so wholeheartedly in this. And if you follow the steps of starting challenge groups, you're going to start to build a business. You're going to start to earn income. So anything else for Bob? And then I have some closing comments and maybe Bob will as well. He can maybe piggyback on some of the things I want to say. And I know we have Shannon is here, Diamond Coach. Ellen's here. She's 1-star Diamond qualifying. Deb is here, Diamond Coach. Anything that you guys want to put up and say, raise your hand, wave in front of the screen. If not, that's okay. Elle, did you wave? Okay, hold on. Did you wave?
No.
No, you're good? Okay.
I am waving to them.
Okay.
It's gone.
Shannon, go ahead, Shannon.
I just want to say I love listening to Bob Lucido. I just want to tell you that, Bob. It's just I've been a coach for 2.5, a little longer, 2.5 years, and you never fail to inspire and help every step of the way. So thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for saying that.
Thanks.
Yeah, kudos. I think everybody would agree with that. Here's one other thing I wanted to mention to you guys today, and we've got a little time here, which is cool. Bob, you'll be interested in this. I was at the Gold's Gym franchise meeting in New Jersey last week. It was last Friday, and the meeting centered around the challenges that not only Gold's Gyms face, but any health clubs face with respect to getting people to form healthy habits. And the fitness industry is ranked as among the worst in the world when it comes to customer retention. You know, we're worse than magazine publications. People just, they subscribe to what we offer and then they quit, and then they subscribe again and then they quit. And we fail to create permanent healthy habits. And so the question became, of all these different owners that were there, the question became, what is it that we can do for people to get them to form a healthy habit? And pretty much unanimously, the response became, get them results. Help people hit their goals, get them results. That'll form habits. But then upon reflecting on that, we suddenly realized that that's what we've been doing all along. We focus on, I'm going to help you get your goals. I'm going to help you get results. And that's a good way to bait people in and get them started on their journey. But unfortunately, and I know it from our own experience in the gym world, we still fail. Even when we get people to form results or get results and achieve their goals, we still fail a lot of times to make it a habit for them. And a perfect example of this would be somebody who says, okay, I'm joining the gym because I want to lose 20 pounds. I'm in a wedding at the end of the summer. And so what do I got to do to hit that goal? And we put them on a pathway and a plan, and they buy personal training, and they feel great. They lose the 20 pounds. They feel fantastic. But guess what? They hit their goal. They quit. Like a few months later, we'll look and we're like, where did that person go? And this happens so often for people. They go for periods of time where they're good, they get healthy, they get fit, and then they stop. It's like something gets in the way that breaks the habit they were forming. And so this concept of creating habits, I think, is so well done, perhaps even better than health clubs using challenge groups. And on what's called the wall, this is the 5-star wall. We have a Facebook page. There was something shared from one of the 5-star coaches on her challenge groups and what she's doing to make them incredibly fun and engaging for everyone. Because what happens is when we just use the challenge group guides that are provided to us as coaches, you can copy and paste the daily post, and it provides good motivating tips and exercise tips and nutrition tips. There's nothing wrong with the information, but I think it's really about getting out of the box and not just doing that. It's getting creative with your team of customers to make it really fun and engaging, that they're actually looking forward to what's going to be happening on that private group or in that private group every day. And so what I want to show you, and I'll share this, is it's a picture of what this coach is doing daily to make the daily activities that she's requesting of all of her participants to really make it fun and engaging, above and beyond just that tip that you're copying out of the challenge group guide. So bear with me 1 second while I pull up this. I meant to do it before I started the Hangout. So I got to go to my share screen. Hold on 1 second. You should still be able to hear me.